Good day everyone, my name is Arslan and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we have a very interesting furniture project that we are going to be doing in Chairinblender. So let's quickly get started. There are going to be a lot of things which you're going to learn today, so make sure to stay tuned. Shift A and image or reference and desktop. So this is the reference image that we have, G and Z. First of all, let's bring it to the top. And now, how do we arrange this so that we have proper views on all our sides? So you're going to learn a lot of things today. So Shift D, RZ 90. Okay, so RZ and 180, I want it to be on the other side. All right, so 1 and 3 are done. Now we even need a top view. So Shift and Z and R and Y and 97 to go into the top view. This is 1 and that is 7, so Shift and Z and 90. Alright, so now 1. Now, a very important step we forgot. Oh my god, how can I forget this? We have to scale the image first. We can't just do that. We have to scale it first. So how do you scale this? G and X to bring that. Now, we need some sort of a ruler or a reference. So there are quite a few ways of scaling this image. Let's go with the easiest one, single word, and add a vertex. Let's go to our units and let's change this to centimeters. So now we have added our vertex. Let's press 1. Now we are in vertex edit mode. Let's press N to bring out this menu right here. So E and Z, right? And E and X. So now we need 46 centimeters. So X is going to be 46. And in the top we need 75 centimeters. So this has to be 75. So this is going to be a reference, right? Everything's going to make sense in a little while. So now let's scale this down and let's click 3 of that and 0. 0. Oh my god. 0. Yes. So G and Z and G and X. Now how do we do this? So check this out. Let's bring this image. This is the reference that we have, right? And so let's bring it to this position. Now we have to make sure that our chair, our image finishes right here. I mean the seat of the chair finishes right here because that's 75, and if you remember we set this vertex to 75. So this is our reference. Now we're going to change the pivot point of this image to 3D cursor. So now we've changed the pivot point. Now if we press S and we bring it right here, so as you guys can see we have already we have referenced our image already. For example, if we our image is scaled already. Check this out. So our 3D cursors are our pivot point, right? Now if you want to make this more accurate, we can go to edit mode as always and E to extrude and X and 46. Yes, much better. So back to our, now if we scale this now, so this is 46, the horizontal, and the vertical is 75, right? So we're done. Our image is referenced, our image is scaled, sorry. So this was the first method that you're going to use. We have a scaled image right here, and of course if we want to be more accurate, I think this is fine. Now we're going to delete this. So job number 1 is done. Now we have a scaled image. Now Shift and D and right and Z and 1, nope, not 180, 90. So let's go to our right side view and rotate Z 180 and G and Y. Alright, so both of these sides are done. Now 1 and G and X. So 1 and 3 are done. Now we need a 7. Shift and D, right X, and nope, 180, nope, minus 90, yes, G and Z. So now 7, 1, and 3, right? Now we need more settings. So for this case, now how do we set this exactly in the middle? So again, this is the second concept that you're going to learn. G and X, now make sure it is exactly in the middle. All right. Okay. Now 3, and so this intersection of our X and our Y axis is going to be our reference, right? So for 1, we set it to the middle. Now for 3, G and Y, how do we do this? So let's set it right here. So 1 and 3, so G and Y. All right, does that make sense? 3, G and Y. All right, and 7, so G. Okay, now whenever we are not sure, we can always use that. Now first of all, we need to play with the settings a little bit. We're going to fix this in a while. So the first thing is always, let's go to image and front. Let's first of all add our cube, which is going to be our initial reference. So G and Z and G and X. Sorry, the pivot point is still a 3D cursor. Let's change that to individual origins. And G and Z and S and Z, GZ, S and Y. Nope, that's the x-axis. Why do I always get this wrong? GY. Alright, so this is our, you can say, our initial reference. Now when it comes to the settings, we have to tick only aligned axis so that we won't see the exact same image when we are on another axis. So that is the first setting, and let's set this to the depth. Let's leave it that, and for the opacity, let's go 0.25. Okay, much better. So 0.25 and only axis aligned, and show front. All right, so the same case with this is 0.25 only axis aligned and front. So now we're in, nope, back. All right, because we flipped that 180 degrees, if you guys remember. So, and for the 7 and opacity 0.25 only front axis and front. All right, so we're done with that. Now 1, this is aligned. 2, let's go to G and Y. So S and Y, and all right, so S and Y. S and Y. All right, so if you go to 1, that is aligned. If you go to 7, that is aligned. If you go to 3, that is aligned, and if you press 7, that is not aligned. So let's align this also. S and G and Y. All right. So guys, these are 3 different concepts that you have learned until now, right? This is the setup. And for this, let's go to only aligned axis. Yes. So now you've learned 3 concepts until now. We scaled the image, we set out our reference scene, and we and the arrangement and everything. And what else did we do? We we set up this, we arranged the 3 images, and we played with the settings a little bit, and we scaled them down. So now let's quickly get started with the modeling. And I would like to talk to you guys about this thing right here. You know, when I was starting Blender, I had this friend who once said to me that if you wanna master modeling, you have to master booleans, right? So you know, some people say that this booleans right here is one of the strongest tools in modeling, but you have to master it for it. You have to understand it. So today I'm going to show you guys how important, or you could say, you know, how handy boolean is, but you have to, you know, learn it a little bit. You have to master this thing a little bit then only. So 1, 3, and 7, we are 100% on track. Now 1 and edit mode and shift and R, control and R for L loops and double G to move it. Control and R and double G to move it. Alright, that is done. Now back to 3, shift and R and move that on both sides, shift and R. Alright, so we're done already. And now uh, let's go to 1 and let's select both of these faces. So 1 and extrude, and let's select this and back to 1, shift it down, scale it down. So scale down and that, and 1 again, and scale it down. Alright, so back to side view and yes, side view. So shift and Y, and if you can't see the leg, there's always the X-ray mode. Shift and Y, I mean G and Y. Alright, so we are done with the 2 of the legs, and same case for this. Let's just choose this and that. So 3 and extrude and G and Y and scale it down. So we're done, guys. Blender is, you know, the modeling in Blender is awesome, but you have to understand the shortcuts. Once you master the shortcuts, once you're used to it, I love Blender. You know, I've used quite a few programs. I'm a civil engineer, right? I'm not even a 3D designer. You know, I started with AutoCAD, and from AutoCAD, I shifted towards SolidWorks, and I loved it. And from there, I shifted towards SketchUp, and from there, I moved towards Autodesk Revit. And from Revit, I came to Blender, right? And I'm in love with Blender. I love Blender. So this is it. Our bottom part is already done. Now for the top area. So you know, in the top we have quite an interesting design. I mean, if you look at it from the side, we have it's not straight. It's kind of curved and bent. It has, you know, these curves in the middle, and from the front there's even a circle right here. So this is going to be hard and interesting. Let's get out from our extra weight. So shift and shift. Let's go to 3, extrude, and alright, and extrude again, and S, and down on the y-axis. No, we don't want to change views. So that, and extrude again, scale on the y-axis, extrude again, and scale on the y-axis, extrude again, scale on the y-axis, extrude, and scale on the y-axis, and shift and Z. Alright, our progress is on point. Check this out. This is what you've made until now. It looks quite okay. G and Z. Alright, 3 and 1, and our legs and everything are more than good. So 3 and 1 and 7. Alright, our modeling is fine. Now we need to get that circle, so we'll be using booleans from this. This is going to be an interesting part. And you know, we even have these legs. So you know, let's how about we quickly make these legs. Let's go to our edit mode and shift and R. Shift and R again, Shift and R, Shift and R. Alright, so back to 3 and Shift and R, Shift and R, and 3, and on the other side it's going to be Control and 3, but we can't see the image. So let's go to 1. We can fix that by going to 3 and we select this image, and let's go that, and let's choose both. So now if we go to Control 3 and we can see that image. So Control and R, Control and R. Alright, we're done with our edge loops. So now 3 to face selection mode, and let's select both of them, and BRIDGE. Yes. But why is it too fat? Does it look okay? Now let's do the same for this. Space, enter, and space, enter, and space and enter. Alright. Does it look okay? You know what we can do is let's go to Control Z. For these two, these ones, let it be the big ones, and for these two we can you know what we can do, we can go to Control R and right click, Control R and right click. Now we can just choose these ones. So let's keep 2 of them thin and 2 of them fat. Alright, does look okay? So alrighty, so we're done with that. Our legs are done. Now of course this is for freaking YouTube, so I mean if you want to perfect it out, if you want the modeling to be 100% perfect, you have to spend quite some time on it, but our video is going to be too long then, and it's going to be boring, so that's why I'm rushing it out. Now how do you do the booleans? This is the most interesting part. Shift and right click, and Shift and A, we are going to be using the circle because I cannot draw that. So right and X and then 90 and scale it down, and Shift and Y, no I mean Z and Y, G and Y. So now scale it up, and right, and Control and 2 to smoothen it out. Okay, so alright, does it look okay? Now let's go to our edit mode, let's go to 1 for the vertex selection, and let's delete our vertex, and even for this case let's delete our vertex. Let's press this and let's press L and delete vertices. So let's press this and E to extrude. Alright, so E to extrude and E and E again, E again. So same case for this, E to extrude, E again, and both of them, and F. Alright, so now as I said, Boolean is very strong, but there are even a few problems that you usually have with Booleans. So how do you fix that? The first thing is always when you're modeling different things, so the scale usually changes, right? We have to bring this back to the default. So object, apply, and all transforms, and we're gonna this is gonna I've been using Blender, and we usually have a lot of problems with modeling, right? And it's mostly because of the scale. It changes when initially we added a cube, but then we did so many things to it and we converted it into a chair, so the scale is automatically going to change. It even changed right now. So if you want to finish, if you don't want to have any problems with your modeling, the first thing is always the scale. Bring this back to the normal, and the second one, if you press that and if you go to face orientation mode, so is the normals, right? So the scale and the normals, this is these are the two things that is going to stop you from a lot of commands. I mean, we have this bevel modifier. If there's a problem with your scale or if there's a problem with your normals, the bevel modifier is not going to work. Sorry. And it's the same case with booleans, all right? If there's a problem with your scale and your normals, the boolean again, you're going to have problems with your boolean. So in order to avoid any problems, object, apply, and all transforms. And the same case for this object, apply, all transforms. Now let's go to edit mode. Press A to select all. Press F to bring out a face. And now when you are extruding it, make sure you extrude it on the outer side, right? If we extrude it this way and it's red, it means that the normals are facing outwards. The boolean is not going to work. You're going to have a lot of problems with your modeling. I've done this before. But if you extrude it this way, so you're going to save yourself a lot of time, and you won't have any there are not going to be any mess ups in your model. So let's extrude that way, and let's go back to one. So if you want to, for example, fix that, we can. It's not hard. Let's choose edit and vertex selection, and let's press 1. And we're in X-ray mode, so if we press this, now we have, in a way, we have selected both of them because I want to cover this one up. So 1 and G, right? For booleans, the shape doesn't matter as long as you have the inner area covered. So now the shape is done, so let's go to that and oops, let's go to that and booleans, and let's go, yes. So if you guys can see X-ray, we have already booleaned the chair out, or already checked this out. So this is how the booleans, as I said in the start, that booleans is one of the most powerful tools in modeling, but you have to, in a way, understand how it works. So for example, if you press this, so this is what the boolean has done, all right? And getting this shape without the boolean it's hard. So I mean, booleans, they can do wonders. Check this out. How do you even get this shape without the booleans? This is going to take a lot of time, but now look at what we have done. All right, and for example, if you want to fix this area, we can do that. And let's go to 1 and vertex selection, and G and G. All right, so even that is gone now, and this shape can be anything as long as the inside is not affected. So now we're done with this. Now the second thing, I don't want to apply the booleans yet. Let's make another one. Shift and A and circle and RX90 and scale it down. Now we need the bottom shape right here. So G to G S and X. Let's try to get this perfect. All right, it is perfect. Now Control and 2 to add a subdivision modifier so that it we have a smooth shape, and Control and A to apply your modifier. Control and A, yes. Now back to edit mode and 1 for vertex selection, and let's delete vertex right here, so that is deleted, and that is deleted. Now if you press this and press L, nope, L, yes, that is deleted. So now, as I did before, we need to cut this area out. So G right here. Alright, and E and Y, E and X. So G and X. Now for this case, it's going to be E and Z, and G and Z, and both of them, and F to join it up. So I think our shape is fine for now, although if you want to improve this, let's bring that Of course, the more time you spend on modeling, the better it is going to get. But we're on YouTube. We can make it big and boring. Press A to select all, F to choose the face. Now let's go back to our face orientation so that we won't have any problems, because we are going to extrude and edit mode, face selection mode, and that the face is selected, right? Um, right, the face is selected. Now out from our X-ray mode and E to extrude. Look, but it's not going to be this way. It's going to be the other way. So now that is done, and G and Y. So guys, believe it or not, this is going to be our second boolean, all right? Uh, Now back to the chair and another boolean, and in this case, let's just choose this, yes, and our modeling is on point. So now apply and apply and delete and delete. Look what we have done. It looks exactly according to what our reference image is, all right? Check this out. Our modeling is perfect. 3, 7, 1, 3, and 7. That is perfect. Although it's not a bit back, but that's fine for now. We should have brought it a bit back, but that's okay. So 1, 3, and 7. So our modeling is done, right? The interesting part is done. Now let's go back to our. And as I said, make sure that your normals are the same, and you always, you bring the scale back to the default one. And after that, you're not going to have any problems with your boolean or your bevels. All right, so now the modeling is done. Now we need the materials. So let's first of all turn this off. Let's go to our shader, and let's go to our. All right, let's leave it EV for the while. First of all, is Shift A, and we need a scale, so S and 9, and all right, 1, Shift and Z, and let's delete 3 of our images. So 1 and S to bring down G and Z. Now so let's go to the edit mode and selection mode, and let's choose both of these edges, E and Z, and this is going to be our studio. Alright, so that is done. Now Shift and S to world origin, Shift and A to add a light and area light, Shift and Z, G and Z, and G and X, and Shift and T to point that thiswards. So let's go to R7 and Shift and D and X and G and Y and Shift and T to point it thiswards. Alright, and Shift and D and Y and G and X and Shift and T to point that thiswards. So now is the materials, the most important part. Now let's go to that, and go to the render properties, and let's go to management, color management, so high contrast and filmic, right? These are two extremely important settings. The next part is the materials, so new, and Control Shift and T. I have this material right here. Although we can go for procedural materials, but for the moment let's just choose this, and let's go to COLOR, color ramp. No, that's wrong. Politics color. That is wrong. I forgot what I'm looking for. So color, and yes, I was looking for RGB curves. Now let's darken this a little bit. So now the next most important part is the UV editing, and whenever you're lost, I mean you're lost in your 3D space, make sure to press to select something and press the dot on your numpad, the full stop or the dot, and you'll automatically get to that point. So go to edit mode and let's go press A to select all, press U and smart UV projection, and it's going to fix the few UV problems that we have. So let's go to our my all-time favorite cycles, and let's go to GPU compute, and let's go to denoise, and let's go to samples 1, let's go to our environment, and, so this is what we have made until now. Alright, this is for this part. Let's go to our materials and let's add 2 slots. For the first one, let's keep that white. For the second one, we need some sort of a grayish sign, and for this one, um, let's choose this case. Let's choose that, and shift and A to press to include a camera, and press N, go to view and click on camera 2. So let's press 0 and let's arrange this. So let's go to our render settings and 2160 and 2160. Alright, so now we need to make this chair a bit more interesting. Why does it look so boring? And cycle GPU compute, simplify, and add super denoiser. This is an add-on that you can activate inside your Blender. It makes a huge difference. It's actually, if you go to the compositing, so this is a sort of a a super denoiser node, right? Uh, this one, and it makes quite good renders, quite realistic. So now the thing that we're missing is an HDRI. Let's go to our environment, open desktop, PBR, and HDRIs. Now, which one should we include? Does this one look nice? And, our modeling is fine. So guys, this is our final model. I've added a few, would say, customizations. That's the right word. And this is our camera view. And now if you go to our rendered settings, so this is our final render, our final chair according to the reference image. And this is the the studio sort of a setup that I've given it. I hope our final render is going to be interesting. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something from it. And we have a lot of videos coming up about furniture, right? So stay tuned, and I hope you learned something from the video. Bye bye.